Welcome, and thank you for joining us for We Are Nacogdoches. It's the show where we explore the businesses and organizations and get to visit with the people that make our town special. I'm Kelly Augustine. I work at the Nacogdoches County Chamber of Commerce, and I have a wonderful guest with me today, Mr. Robert McCandless. He does a lot of things in Nacogdoches, but one of the things we're going to be talking about today is Brushing Up Nac. It's an organization in town that's doing some exciting visual things, and I'd love to hear more about it. So, Robert, welcome, and please tell us a little bit more about your group.
Well, welcome. I'm sorry, Nacogdoches is the oldest city in Texas. Gail and I have traveled all over the country the last 7 or 8 years and seen murals all over the United States and how they bring interest to and visitors to a city. When we came to Nacogdoches, to family reasons, my daughter lives here, and we got hooked up with someone who had done a big art project in Wimberley and who now lives here, and we just decided that murals would be a good fit for Nacogdoches. Murals that would tell us history of the city and what goes on.
Well, Brushing Up Nac has created a buzz. I mean, I'm hearing it. And you mentioned, telling stories, and I see visuals. I'm not an expert in art necessarily, but I know I get a good feeling when I see a good piece of art, So tell us a little bit about the murals themselves. What are you guys targeting?
We are targeting the historical elements of Nacogdoches. It goes back, from the Spaniards. Well, it goes back even further than that. It goes to the Caddo Indians. We're looking to get a Caddo Indian and maybe an NEA grant to paint a mural of the Caddo Indians. But starting from there, the Spaniards, all the history behind Nacogdoches, we want to tie the murals that we paint to the sculpture that Bright Foundation has installed and to the old buildings downtown that have so much history behind them. We want to tie those together with UPC codes so that a person can walk through the city, check the UPC code, hear the people on the mural or hear the person in the sculpture talking, kind of like the storytellers over by the Fredonia.
It's interactive.
It's interactive. Yeah. Photographs of what the city used to look like in this spot opposed to what it looks like now and how that came to be. Tell our story.
Wow, I didn't know that.
Got a long story.
So I assume we can see some of the murals now. You can talk about that, but where else might someone find the murals?
Well, right now we've restored, thanks to the Coca-Cola distributor out of Houston, the Coke mural, which was painted by a fellow whose daughter came along and brushed it up. She said she remembers being 7 years old watching him paint that. Well, we've done that. We've got Michelle Filer, a local artist, to paint the Garden Capital Texas mural over on the North Street wall of Randy Johnson's furniture store. And we're also looking at the big black wall that everyone sees right now, which is a blank canvas for Welcome to Nacogdoches, the oldest city in Texas, with the 9 flags over the top of it. It's going to be a real snap shot when you move into town. It has to be fast on that one because the sidewalk's too narrow to take photographs. What we want to do there is just make a big splash into, you're here. And this is what it is, and move on, either take a left or a right or going down Main Street. We're currently working with J.D. Cole, whose art is in Dolly's Diner, the portraits and things. He's painting the eyes of Father Margil on the south side of Randy Johnson's furniture store. And it's going to be a picture of him and the mission that he founded and the streams that he brought to life through a miracle.
I know that wonderful story. And it sounds to me like you're working with the business owners too.
Absolutely. That's one of our major things right now is we're going to all the business owners who have a wall that has been painted or is in disrepair, getting permission from them to paint on the wall. They don't have to donate money. We would try to get a fund together to upkeep murals so that even they don't have to upkeep. We're trying to do all this. We are going to do all this without taxpayer money. I know I lived in Austin, and there was a lot of artwork in Austin that I didn't particularly care for, and my tax money was paying for it. We don't want to do that in Nacogdoches. We want everyone who wants to have a hand in making this work have a hand, whether it be $5, $5,000. We want participation, and we don't want to have the city have to, go through it. That was the other thing you asked earlier. When you go through the city, you have to get bids. We don't want bids.
Well, it sounds like you're passionate about this project.
Very, very.
And I'm just curious, what is it you envision people feeling, experiencing, seeing when they come to our town, or as a resident when I just drive down North Street?
Well, we've got the historic district from University all the way over now to Old Tyler Road by the train station. I want to see people come here and see the old buildings. I want to see activity downtown, and I want to see murals that tell our story. Beautiful murals, comfortable murals. I don't want to see things that make people uncomfortable. It needs to be a place that is welcoming to everyone and for everyone. And for us as residents, just you walk downtown, I want to see downtown grow. I want to see things happen in our new restaurants and stuff. And throwing the murals in will help bring that same thing.
Oh, I think it's going to make a big impact in our city. And I thank you and the group that have the talent and the understanding of how to do it well. That's going to be an important thing. When you invest that much time and effort, you want it to have the right result.
Well, we've got a couple of city councilmen and a mayor that's going to make sure we do it right.
That's great. That's
like
great. That. I love the involvement.
Yeah.
Well, why? You mentioned the Austin background. I know you've seen other parts of the world. Why do you choose Nacogdoches?
Well, of course, it was, to begin with, I've kind of had a little history with East Texas. And I was looking kind of toward East Texas. We'd been on the road 7 years in a trailer working at church camps all over the U.S. And it was time to settle down. We had a 10-year plan to travel, and it wound up being 7. And so we came to Nacogdoches because our daughter lives here. Mm-hmm. And that was probably the main reason, but it became a whole lot more.
Yes, and I love getting to know you. I love getting to know Gail. I love your daughter, Mercy. She's a smart cookie there, picking Nacogdoches first.
Yes. We love the city. I think the city, so far I know the people I've met love us, and it's a great place to be.
What other good things have you seen in Nacogdoches happening?
Pickleball.
Oh, pickleball.
Yeah, we came to Nacogdoches. There was no pickleball. There were people trying to get it started, but we're kind of blocked because of, the bid process again. Mm-hmm. And we hand-painted, me and several others hand-painted the Bonita Creek courts, brought a flurry of activity to the courts, and that allowed the city to say, hey, look, we need to do something at Moroni. So we've got 21 courts. That's more courts than any city in East Texas, including Longview, Tyler, and all of those. We have a very active community here of pickleball, and it's growing. It's a great revenue stream for the city if they play it right, and we're here to see that they play it right, and hopefully we can get some exercise and have some fun.
Well, I love that both Brushing Up Nac and the Nacogdoches Pickleball Group are members of our Chamber of Commerce, because that way we can partner with you as you continue to grow and do good things in Nacogdoches. I want to say, you mentioned the number of courts. The reason they have that number of courts is because they're being used, correct?
Yes.
So who would play pickleball?
Well, who would play pickleball?
Yeah.
That's a good question. We've got our competitive group. It's grown into a very competitive sport. Mm-hmm. And I'm 75 years old. If I start trying to be competitive, what's going to happen is something's going to give way or break. So I'm starting a brand new group at Moroni and at Bonita. I'm going to start teaching pickleball at Bonita in the evenings for newcomers. And we've got a group that meets up at Moroni in the mornings on Thursday mornings, and hopefully we'll start doing it more mornings when the weather gets right. We're dinkers. We we don't keep score. We try to hit the ball to one another rather than away from one another, so that we don't chase the ball. And we just talk. We stand up close and we talk a lot. We visit with each other. We fellowship. We get our exercise. We get to hit the ball, and nobody has to say, "Oops, sorry, I missed the ball."
Okay, I never thought I'd say this in my life, but I might be a dinker.
Yeah,
I think that's the place for me.
Took me a while to realize that I'm a dinker.
In the world of pickleball,
Yeah.
That's fascinating.
Well, we want you there. We're going to start dinking in the evenings down at Bonita and maybe up at Brony. Brony is so packed in the evenings, but Bonita, we're going to bring it back to life. We got the firemen and the police department playing down there, and it's ready to grow.
It is, and it's going to bring more to our town.
It will.
It really will. Well, Robert, if anyone wants to get more information about Brushing Up Nac, or if you want to mention the pickleball, contact too. How do we do that?
BrushingUpNac.org is our website. It's BrushingUpNac.org. And for pickleball, Old Town, or Nacogdoches Pickleball, Nacogdoches Old Town Pickleball is a website that the city park department has given us to use to communicate with one another.
Well, I'll just say you can also go to nacogdoches.org for any of that, because you're both members of our chambers.
Yeah.
So thank you.
And we thank you guys.
again. Well, I've had a wonderful conversation today with Robert McCandless for Brushing Up Nac and pickleball. It's a wonderful part of our town because we are Nacogdoches.
This program is brought to you by the Department of Mass Communication at Stephen F. Austin State University, in association with the Nacogdoches County Chamber of Commerce, and with special thanks to the City of Nacogdoches.